Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time for my week 6 challenges guide featuring the locations of the 5 highest points on the map, the locations of the wooden rabbit, the stone pig, the metal llama, all of those locations, also the location of the star that you can find where the knife is on the treasure map, as well as tips, tricks, and secrets for all of the other challenges as well. Now if you enjoyed today's video guys and find it helpful and want to encourage me to make more of these guides, be sure to use my supporter creator code TheLlamaSir. Seriously, it helps me out a ton. I appreciate it a lot, and big thanks to all of you who have been doing so. And again, that is TheLlamaSir. Seriously guys, I appreciate it a lot. On top of that guys, be sure to hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these guides and find them helpful. And on top of that, be sure to comment what tier you guys are at or what level you guys are at. Even if you're at tier 100 guys, reminder, these challenges help you get a bunch of XP, which can help you level up some of the skins. So it's always helpful to do so, but comment that down below. And without further ado here, let's jump into it with the overview of the challenges this week in case you are not home to see them right now. But in this video, I am going to be showing you the location of the secret banner as well. But yeah, as for the challenges themselves, you have got use different throwable items in a single match, visit a wooden rabbit, a stone pig, and a metal llama. Again, I'll show you all the locations of those. Get an elimination with a flint knock pistol or boom bow. Search where the knife points on the treasure map loading screen. I'll get you the location of that. Land at location stages. Visit the 5 highest elevations on the island. I'll show you every single one of those, as well as like how to go through them in the fastest way, and also eliminate opponents at Frosty Flights or Lazy Lagoon. So let's go ahead guys and jump into it with the first challenge I want to cover in this video, and that is actually the secret banner location. And as a reminder guys, since this is the week 6 banner, you do have to complete 6 weeks of challenges. Doesn't matter which weeks they are, as long as you complete 6 weeks, and then after that the week 6 banner will show up. But basically the week 6 loading screen has been floating around on Twitter and Reddit and stuff like that, and they generally hide a clue inside of the loading screens. And this time the clue is pretty interesting, and basically what the clue is the numbers and letters E2, E3, F2, and F3, but it's actually corresponding to some coordinates on the map. So E2 and E3 are their respective squares on the map, and also F2 and F3. And basically if you look in the middle of those squares, you can find a point that should be where the banner is going to show up. That point is right here on the map next to the pirate camp near Lazy Lagoon. At least I'm pretty sure. I haven't quite gotten this banner myself, so it's possible it could maybe move somewhere else, but I mean this location would make sense. And then if you go there specifically, I believe it would be like in front of this tree or somewhere around this general area. If for some reason the location changes or gets updated, be sure to check the pinned comment down below. I'll post an update down there if, you know, anything changes. Then after that guys, let's jump into it with one of the tough challenges from the weekly challenges themselves, and that is to search where the knife is on the treasure map or something along those lines, and specifically the treasure map loading screen. So the loading screen that it is talking about right here is this one. So basically if you take a look where that knife is pointing, it is pointing right above the Gus racetrack, and like really specifically it's in that line of trees right above the racetrack. So yeah, with that being said, that is obviously on the east side of the map where the racetrack is in the desert biome, but again you want to go slightly to the north of that, and it should be within these trees over here. Now if we take a look in these trees, I'm not 100% sure where the exact location is, but I would assume that it would be on top of this hill on this brown patch of grass right here. I mean that just seems to stick out the most, and also it fits in with the location of where the knife is pointing. So this would be my number one guess for where it could be. It could also be around this general area, or maybe around the trees. Maybe it could even be at the superhero mansion that's like super run down. But honestly guys, I would guess that it's on that brown patch, since that's similar to how they've done star locations in the past. But again guys, if for whatever reason that location changes, simply check the pinned comment down below for an updated location, but I really think it's probably at that brown patch of grass. But after that then you have a fairly easy one, and that is to get an elimination with a flint knock pistol or a boom bow. And honestly this one isn't that hard. Basically what I recommend if you want to get this one done fast is to go into Team Rumble, because obviously you have respawns. If you get eliminated, you can just keep trying until the end of the match. And on top of that, I would also just recommend focusing on the flint knock pistol, because you know it's easy to get eliminations with, or like decently easy, it's possible. Plus it's probably a lot more common than the boom bow. However, the boom bow has been spawning a lot as of, you know, it being introduced into the game. So honestly though, just use whatever you want. Obviously the boom bow is pretty easy to get eliminations with, but you may be able to find more of the flint knock pistols, so it's something to keep in mind. Now after that then guys, we also have the land at location stages challenge, and this one I really don't have that many tips for you. The one that I can only really give to you is to maybe try and couple this with some other challenges so that you can can maybe try to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, because if you happen to need to land at a location that's near one of the other challenges you need to get done, maybe you can do it that way. Or maybe just, you know, you land at a location, look for a boom bow or a flint knock pistol, something like that, because this one, you know, does just take time to do. Keeping it going here with the next challenge I want to talk about, let's talk about the one where you have to find like the different animal building type things around the map, and specifically that is the locations of the wooden rabbit, a stone pig, and a metal llama. Now don't worry guys, I've got the exact locations of these for you so that you just can follow this guide and know exactly where to go. And real quick before we get into it guys, be sure to check out after this video my previous update news video, because there was a lot of interesting stuff in there, such as like old locations possibly returning, things like that. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description in the pinned comment below, so be sure to check that out after this video. But back to this challenge, the first thing I can recommend before even showing you like the specific locations is the game mode. And honestly, the game mode doesn't really matter that much. Honestly, if you want to, probably the safest is Team Rumble, but you can do it in solo, especially if you're going for other challenges as well. You can maybe couple this challenge with another and work on them at the same time. However, let's just go ahead and jump into it with the locations, because there are 2 specific locations that you can get that are close to each other, and then the third one you may have to go and get it in a separate match. But let's start off with those first 2 and show you exactly how to get those done the fastest. And basically you're going to want to drop towards the Pleasant Park side of the map, up towards this northwest corner over here. And again, I'm doing this in Playground just to show you as an example. It doesn't work in Playground, but again, it's just great for you know, showing you guys without having to worry about enemies and stuff messing up, well, again, this showcase. So basically, instead of going right towards the metal llama, which is over there and is the pretty obvious location since that's been around for a very long time, I would recommend actually grabbing a drift board right here, so that again, you can try and get 2 done in 1 match. Now, since we have our drift board, we can quickly go over to the metal llama, as you can see it up there in all of its glory. But if you make your way up there and go right under it, that should count as visiting the metal llama. So that's the easiest location, but what about the next one? Well, basically, I want to show you where the wooden rabbit is. Wooden rabbit, there we go. But if you use your drift board and just keep going south, you know, through Haunted Hills, it is right after Haunted Hills. And if you also follow the edge of the map, you will be able to see it coming up. There it is right over there. So that is the wooden rabbit. So let's make our way to it, and that'll be our second location to stop off at. And then this is the wooden rabbit, as you can see. So that should be the second location done. Now, as for the next one, you are probably going to need to do it in a separate match because it is pretty far away from here. You can try to do it in the same match if you really want to. I mean, it's possible, but it will take a bit of time. But then after that, you have another fairly easy challenge, which requires you to use different throwable items in a single match. And basically, you can do this in whatever game mode you want. However, I'm pretty sure the throwable items that you can get is the dynamite, the clingers, the stink bombs, the disco bombs, and also the impulse grenades. I believe those are the 5 that you can pick up as throwable items in the game currently. Maybe I'm missing one, but those are some that you should be looking for. And then when, you know, you pick some up, you might as well just throw them right away, or throw one of them or whatever. And that should help you get this challenge done. So yeah, it's pretty easy, but as long as you know that you have to look for those, it makes it even easier. So there you go. But moving on to the next one, this is another fairly tough one. And this challenge is the visit the 5 highest elevations on the map. And I've got the locations of those for you right here. And actually, real quick before we get into that, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because I post these guides every single week showing you tips, tricks, and secrets to get the challenges done as fast as possible. And if you don't want to miss those guides, being subscribed and having notifications turned on is the best way to know about them. But getting back into it, I know exactly where to go, and even like which ones to go to first in order to like get to the other ones fast in like a single game or multiple games, stuff like that. So you know what, let's go ahead and jump into a game so I can show you like specifically how to go about doing it. Alright, but yeah guys, I wanted to go into game to specifically show this to you, and I'm just showing you this in Playground. I am like 99% sure it does not work in Playground, but like the game mode I would recommend is obviously something like Team Rumble. Honestly, Team Rumble should be the best, so if that mode is live while you are, you know, doing your challenges, that's going to help you out a lot with this one. Don't do solo. I mean, you can, but you know, Team Rumble's great. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So basically, when you're starting out, you're going to want to drop towards this side of the map. The left side has like 4 of these highest points, and the right side has like 1. So I'm going to start off over here to give you guys an example, but basically the first location I would recommend going to is actually this mountain right here. This is one of the locations where you can find one of the highest points, but that's not the only reason I recommend going here first. And as you can see, there is one of the signs marking like the high points of the map, so there's your first one done. However, again, there's a reason I recommend this spot, and you may be able to tell there are vehicles around it. There's a bunch of drift boards. There's also a quad crasher, but the drift board for sure, you can take a drift board. Now, once you have the drift board, you immediately want to go to this mountain or the villain's base over there, and the drift board can help you get over there even faster. Now, we're not going to quite make it all the way over there, but we can just go up the side of the mountain right here and then wait for our boost to recharge so we can, you know, fly up here. Maybe not hit the tree. Okay, thank you very much. And then go up this part as well so we can get on the very tippy top of it right here. And then, as you can see, here is another one of the highest points on the map. So visit that. That's your second one done. Now, as for the ones after that, there's 2 over on that side of the map. So we're going to use our drift board to fly over there as fast as possible. Now, this little bit of distance just takes a bit of time, but if you're in Team Rumble, you know, you won't really have to worry about that many other players, especially if this is on your side of the map. So, you know, just take your time going over to Polar Peak first. And then, you know, probably the best way to go up is on the right side of it, because then if you go over to this part, or like you actually have to go all the way around if you want to keep your drift board. You can use one of the zip lines, but once you're at this spot right here, you're going to actually want to go on top of the castle. So it's going to require you to, you know, get off your drift board for a bit, get a bit of materials, not too much, but you're just going to want to build up to the very top of it. And then once you're at the very top, you will find the highest point marker right here. So there's your third one ready to get. And then to get the fourth one, simply drop down to your drift board again, and then you're going to want to go over to the submarine, which you may or may not know where that is, but basically it's really close to here. As you can see, it's right there. So let's fly on over to that. And then you're going to want to scale the side of the mountain with your drift board. Make sure you have a little bit of materials left from Polar Peak to get all the way up to the top of it. And as you can see, on top of the submarine is a fourth one. Now, what about the fifth one? This is where it gets a little bit tough because you have to go all the way over to the volcano. So you may have to do it in a separate game. That may be the fastest way to do it. But for example, say we drop into another game and we're at the volcano. I'll show you the exact location of the little sign that you need to get to. So yeah, just go on to the top of the volcano, to the front of it facing the southern portion of the map, and then there is the final one you need to get this challenge done. So there you go, guys. And then for the final challenge I want to talk about in this video, this also is a fairly, you know, non-complicated one, but basically it is to get eliminations at Frosty Flights or Lazy Lagoon. Now, both of these locations are fairly similar in size and loot, so I can't really say one is better than the other, but I will say that you probably want to do it in solo because you can get eliminations very easily. Also, there's going to be a bunch of people there in solo most of the time, but on top of that, the main tip I can give you is to just drop at whatever location is closest at the start of the bus. That way you'll be able to run into a bunch of people. However, if you maybe want it a little bit quieter, you could wait until the second location that's further away. Again, depends on the bus path, but you got 2 different options. So, you know, just land at one of the locations, get your eliminations done, and you should be finished with this challenge in no time. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more guides like this coming out in the near future. On top of that, be sure to check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, it'll put up whatever my recent upload is. So maybe that's some update news or something like that. And then on the right, my previous week's challenge guide. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.